Good morning. My name is Rusty Pelt, Senior Consultant with Marks Systems ECI Software Solutions. Today, we're going to come together here and discuss third-party report writers. Hopefully this will be kind of a short discussion. And I would like to kind of explain what I'm talking about with when I'm referring to third-party report writers. So now with Marks Systems, we have what's called a MySQL database, report writing database, which is used to be accessed by basically any analytics software, Power BI, Google Data Studio, Excel, Tableau, and you can create some pretty awesome analytics with those software programs. And what I'd like to discuss is what happens when I'm engaged with these third-party software companies. And I won't say all the time, but probably 60 to 70% of the time, it kind of blows up. And the companies that hire these third-party software get fed up because they spend a bunch of money and they get nothing out of it. Okay, and then they end up being mad at us because their third-party software company says, "Well, I can't write reports because the software is bad, or they can't access the data." So let me explain what's really going on, and so I want you to understand. Before you get into bed with these third-party report writers, you're about to spend a lot of money, okay? Now, hopefully that's not going to be the case, but let me give you some examples as to why. So with Marks Systems, let me explain what you need to know to be able to create analytics with really any software, but primarily with Marks Systems, there are things that you need to know in order to be able to write these analytics, okay? Now, the first thing is you're going to need to know the knowledge of creating with the analytics software. Doesn't matter what it is, Excel, Tableau, Power BI, Google Data Studio. You have to be somewhat of an expert in those packages to write good analytics. Now, there's also, you have to know other things in order to write those analytics. And a lot of times now, people are being hired and they only have one, maybe two qualifications that allows them to say, yeah, I can write these analytics for you. So let's move on to the second thing. Knowledge of construction concepts, okay? So you have to have some kind of construction knowledge or background, or be able to understand the deep concepts of what happens in a construction company. So we don't teach that here at ECI. I don't teach it from a professional standpoint. I teach Marks Systems and things like that, but I don't teach people how to build a house. That's just not what we do. And I'm not going to do that because I've spent 30 years acquiring that knowledge. And so you kind of have to know that knowledge. Okay. Now, let's move on to the third thing that you need to know: knowledge of area of reporting, accounting, purchasing, scheduling. So within within not even just the software, you need to understand accounting. If you're writing accounting reports, you need to understand purchasing. Not specifically in Marks, but how does your purchasing department work? What analytics are they going to use? Scheduling. What do I want to look at, right? So you kind of they kind of have to understand scheduling, right? The scheduling concepts within a construction company. And again, not primarily in Marks, but these are the things that these third-party people need to understand. And if I would just be real hesitant if they don't. Okay, so the fourth thing that you need to know is really knowledge of Marks Systems data flow, okay, and Marks Systems data tables. Okay, so I do teach Marks Systems writing class, report writing 201, which is a higher level report writing class. And I go through the knowledge of, of the data flow within Mark Systems from beginning all the way to the end. Okay, so that's something that we can teach, right? What tables to use, where's the data at certain points in time of construction, if that makes sense. So yeah, we can teach that, and I can help them and guide them to what tables to pull information from. But they also need to be able to apply the other things that are in order to write these analytics and reports. And a lot of times, yes, they do have, the third-party writers will have the knowledge of creating analytics and software, and they'll have some kind of concept based on HGTV or whatever, as far as construction concepts, or and then, you know, they might have some kind of knowledge of accounting or purchasing or scheduling and things like that. So, but to be able to pull all that information and to be able to quickly pull that information out of Mark Systems, that's where they're going to have a problem, is understanding your end goal and what you want to see in your analytics. Okay, so if you do get into working with third party, you're going to have to realize that what happens is usually after about a month or so, 6 weeks of paying these guys to write these reports, and they're not really producing anything, and they keep scheduling meetings with me 2 or 3 times a week. I'm talking hour-long meetings, meeting with me, pulling the data, and they're still not producing anything. They're eventually just going to just start saying it's my fault that I'm not giving them all the information. It's happened 50, 60, 70% of the time. It always comes back, they're saying, well, it's ECI, it's the software, it's not pulling the data. I pull the data all day long, every day, okay? I can do it with my eyes shut, okay? So when third parties start saying that it's my fault or ECI's fault or the software fault, no, it's because you know your software, you don't really understand construction concepts, you don't have enough experience with accounting, purchasing, or scheduling within the software to write meaningful reports for your clients. And then the knowledge of Mark Systems data flow you don't understand, and you keep having to call me, and I'm billing you, the customer, every hour that I talk to them, okay? And the bills just add up and add up and add up. I'm not saying they're not a great thing. I think these third-party data report writers are awesome. I've seen some of their work. They do a great job. But my warning is, don't blame ECI because your third-party data can't build what you want them to build because they don't understand these concepts that I'm showing you here. Just buyer beware. Be careful. Talk to us. I mean, we're happy to help, but we can only do so much. And I just really want you to understand before you get into it, that you understand what it takes to build these analytics and to build good analytics and not overspend because now you're paying for these third-party writers to have an education of Mark Systems, accounting, purchasing, scheduling, and teaching them construction. So just beware. I thank you very much. I wanted to share that message with you, and I hope everyone has a great day.